Randy, we are ready. Wild card match. Hurd and Kent. Jason lost in the round of 8 last night, but due to the fewest match play losses from the round of 32 best of 7 on to the round of 8 best of 5, he's in the wild card. First ball comes in late.
Come on.
Ball off his hand a little quick. And when that happens, you don't get the lift, you don't get the revs on the ball doesn't grab, goes a little bit further right. In this week's lane conditions, Dave Ryan, very difficult, very tough. Only a 203 average to make it to the round of 64.
Oil pattern A this week. Covers the mark.
Come on.
On lane 27. Nerves for Jason early, do you think?
Always.
Yeah.
First couple of shots, live television, you're going to be nervous. But the guy that can manage his nerves and make that nervous tension work in his favor, that's the guy that's going to make the better shots.
Newark, New York sits just about halfway between Rochester and Western New York and Syracuse in the central part of the state. 5 hours from here or so. Pocket for Doug Kent. Good start for him.
Using the same ball he used last night against Chris Barnes in a great match where Doug struck out
the first shot out of the way.
See that first shot? He gets that first shot out of the way, gets a strike. So you see what he's done this week. Spare conversion's a little iffy, but with the lane conditions being tough, we include splits, and there's a lot of splits left. Anyway, this ball that he's using, he actually drilled for the match against Chris Barnes last night. And what a match. 5 games. We'll talk about it a little bit later.
Special layout for Doug Kent with that ball. Pocket for him on lane 27. He looks good.
A unique layout. The players that saw that layout said they thought he was crazy.
That was for you, Jacob.
In reference to his 11-year-old son, Jacob, back home in Newark, New York, watching. Doug owns a bowling center there. Speaking of unique, Jason Hurd has the rather unorthodox approach, the 7-step that he's just been using recently, and he comes in high there.
210 average, which was exceptional this week. You see that very low strike percentage. Only 48%. High-scoring weeks, that number's up to about 70%.
Little mini shuffle at the end of the delivery, right on the approach toward the foul line.
And what I'm seeing early on, Dave, in the first couple of shots that Jason's thrown, and this is what happens. You get anxious, you get into a hurry. Jason's getting the ball into the swing a little bit too soon. And what you watch for is right at the foul line, how he falls off the shot. He's not able to hold his balance. You see him falling off, that means he's getting the ball into the swing early.
On lane 27, avoids a disastrous 410, just has the 10-pin to deal with for a mark.
That shot there he actually posted. It was a better shot, just drifted a little bit high, but he kept his balance. I think that's the key. Jason needs to stay in control, stay on balance. Pretty good there, only missing 2 single-pin spares for the week.
Drifts to the left, and then will shuffle just as he delivers, picks up the 10-pin for a mark.
All right, time to go. Make some good shots.
Perhaps a little self-motivation from Jason Hurd trying to get himself going. Maybe the nerves have dissipated for him. We'll see. Looking for a triple to start the match is Doug Kent. Strike, 24-pin lead.
Get up! Yeah, baby.
He's got that.
Yeah!
Doug Kent going much straighter than Jason Hurd, playing around the 8th board. Second arrow, ball holds line, keeping his hand underneath it. You know, when the lanes are tough, the best way to the pocket is a straight line, and that's what he's using right now.
Has not won since the World Championship in March in Toledo. He was telling us last night, 8 events ago. It has been that long. It wasn't this calendar year, but for him, a lifetime ago.
Roll! Roll! Yeah!
Urging it into the pocket, and the ball responds.
And when he said roll, what he meant was he wanted that ball to grab the lane so it would turn up and get into the 1-3 pocket. Here he goes. He's talking to it. Made some great shots last night. 5th game against Chris Barnes.
Little double wood 2-8 there for Hurd, who's not quite found his ideal path into the pocket.
He hasn't found his rhythm from start to finish. A little too fast, then he slows it up a little bit. And what happens is that makes the ball arrive at the bottom of the swing at different places. The release isn't clean. This week, had to make really good shots.
It'll be very difficult as he does pick up the mark. The way Ken has started with a 4-bagger here today in the wild card match. Rick Steelsmith the first to go down in the round of 32, best of 7, and then Dave Traber, your roommate, won the round of 8 match, but Hurd gets into the wild card because he had the fewest match play losses from the round of 32 through the round of 8. Just 4. And Leto Monticelli not far behind. In a big hole. 10-pin.
And his best shot of the match, he told me last night that the key for him
That was better.
It sure was. He had to make his arm swing from the top to the bottom as smooth as possible. If he didn't, he grabbed it at the bottom. It got too fast, big grab. And with as many revs as Jason Hurd has, that ball tends to break loose down the lane.
Ball coming right at you. Picks up his mark. Jason coming to us from Titusville, Florida, about 30 miles east of Orlando and near the Kennedy Space Center, where you can watch the launching of the space shuttle occasionally. That's quite a treat. How many people could say that?
What a wake-up call that would be at 6 a.m. having a rocket go up.
Meanwhile, red hot Doug Kent looks for a 5-bagger to start the wild card match, and a 47-pin lead with another strike. Oh, 7-pin.
Last night in the match against Chris Barnes, Doug Kent took a 2-0 lead. Chris Barnes comes back and wins the next 2 matches, or the next 2 games rather, forces a game 5. Doug looked completely lost. So what he did was he took that same exact bowling ball he's using now, threw it 800 miles an hour on the right lane, straight at the 1-3 pocket, and on the left lane, he hooked it the entire lane. He went from about 5th arrow out to the 10 board, struck out 9th, 10th, and 11th to force Chris Barnes to double in the 10th. Chris left the 10-pin on his second ball. That's how Doug got here. Hi, Jason.
He is focused. Back home in Florida, his wife Kim, stepchildren Katie and Anthony watching, and a big get-together down in Florida for Jason at River Lanes in Titusville. All rooting him on, but he has run into a difficult opponent in this wild card match.